answer there is I value the lifesteal over the crit more often than not. We're just gonna take whatever build, because we're not actually gonna be playing. We're gonna be going over the mastery tree here. Like you could say radar, but I don't think. I think I would prefer commander shield over radar. Like honestly, you cannot devalue the movement speed because that's the insane thing about the build. That build has so much fucking movement speed. Like you saw that game a second ago where I literally just ran down the Cecilia and the sniper Aya.
I won't cause any trouble.
Actually, I think that last game we just played was sniper Aya. So anyways, so Dagger Mastery, you should always know what your weapon mastery does. Scales per level. For Dagger, it's 2.7 attack speed, 5% extra normal attacks, and skill damage. Hunt only gives you 4% extra damage to wild animals, so the higher your hunt mastery is, the faster it is to hunt animals. It's really only useful, in my opinion, for overall level, which is one of the reasons why I focus it so much. It's the easiest to get to level 20. Craft increases the effects of items by 0.8%. I actually have no fucking clue what this does. 100%. I don't know what this does. If anyone knows, let me know. Like, please tell me. Because it doesn't affect healing. Is it talking about your armor? Because if it's talking about your armor, that's pretty OD, but like, I haven't been able to tell that. Search. Vision range. This one you're gonna build pretty much just by like, as you know, oh wait. We should also notice hunt mastery is also increased by taking damage from wild animals. This is the reason why melee champions are able to increase their hunt mastery so much faster. Dagger, you get mostly from damage to players. You're gonna get a little bit per 100 you deal to wild animal. It eventually turns into per 200, I'm pretty sure. Whenever you get a kill, you get 200 of it, and whenever you craft your weapon, you get a nice solid chunk. For crafting, you get it just from crafting anything. Search, open item boxes, which you're doing all the time. Fun fact, so when I open it, you notice the white outline on this box. This means it hasn't been searched, right? And I open it, it goes away. What that white outline actually means is that box will give you search mastery, because that outline will come back at the like after so many, I think it's 2 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just going off of like what I've noticed. That white outline will come back, and when you open it again, you'll get search mastery for that crate a second time. Is every weapon mastery gained the same? As in, do you gain weapon mastery the same? Yes, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. We can check though. Now, opening air supplies. You only get this one once. When you open an air supply, it looks like it's propped open. You no longer have to go through the process of opening it a second time. Collecting a resource.
Hotels remind
what this means is like collecting tree of life, branches, stone. Those also increase your search mastery. Operating a security console does the same thing. That's why you don't stay in the same area camping, right? So those are other ways you can increase your search mastery. Movement. Walking, of course. Moving to a new area is gonna be the main one that actually gives you like a good amount of movement mastery. So like if you haven't been to like beach, alley, and hospital, you're actually missing out on like 500 movement. It's just shy of 500. Actually, no, it's a little above 500. But anyways, so that's another way to gain it. I won't say I'd go out of my way to like go into areas that I haven't been half the time, because most of the time I'm walking for animals, but watch, we'll walk in here and we got movement 180. You just have to cross the boundary. Health. This is actually, movement increases your movement speed and movement speed out of combat. Every character will have a slight benefit to being out of combat for movement speed, and that's because of your movement stat. Health. This is a big one because it's actually an HP, max HP percent increase, right? This is mostly done by eating and crafting food. You'll also get some from taking damage. Areas you visited are now grayed out with a new patch. Yeah, you're right, they are actually. So that's a good way to keep track.
More expensive hotel,
go away, dog.
better service.
So,
The air
health.
supply will be dropped within the next minute.
As I said, most of the time you're only gonna gain this from crafting food and eating food, but it also depends on the rarity you craft. There's a huge bonus you get from crafting blue food compared to green food. So if you had the choice between crafting green food and blue food, I would almost always recommend doing the blue food instead. Boiling water to carp is a great thing for that. But of course you should always craft the most efficient food regardless. You know, you want to do whatever ends up letting you craft the most food. So if you could craft 3 blue foods or like 2 green, 2 blue, I would probably do 2 green, 2 blue. Meditation. This is % of your max SP. You're normally not going to get a lot of this. It's done by using SP. So characters like Zhu Kai actually really struggle to get this up. Because they don't use SP in that way.
Hotels
A
remind
new area
They only
has
use
been
SP by searching boxes, which doesn't seem to trigger it for some reason. You mentioned the trap stuff in forest. Yeah. So traps. Traps is actually a pretty neat one. I'm trying to get it so that we can see it on screen, so I'll have to move it up a little better. 4% damage increase on traps. This actually scales the more level you have. So the more levels you have in traps, the more your traps do. You get trap mastery by dealing damage to a player with traps, dealing damage to a wild animal with traps. It's a nice chunk less. Taking damage from a trap, setting traps, and crafting traps. Me personally, all of my trap mastery, whenever I do decide to do it, which sometimes I'll get up to level 5 or 6, is going to be from teleporting to forest, which I can actually do that this game. I'm so weak, I'm hoping the bots don't just like mindlessly aggro me while I'm doing this, but I don't think they do anything until night 2. So we'll go to forest so I can show y'all what I mean, or pond. You can do it in pond or forest. Both locations can kind of do the same thing.
I think she would have liked this.
I come to like whatever crates I can. Mouse traps are good. You want to pick those up, not for so much the trap mastery that you're going to be doing, but for afterwards. Snares. You want snares and bamboos. And hatchets. We only got snare.
I think she would have.
Hopefully we can find a bamboo in these 3 crates. I don't want to spend forever walking. Come on, where's it at? There we go. So bamboo. So now we'll pick this up. And we're gonna make a bamboo trap, and then we're gonna make a guillotine or a pendulum axe.
Looks quite useful.
Bam, we're already trap level 3. And then pick up another bamboo. We get another hatchet. That's actually really lucky. So we make another one,
You couldn't even.
and then we make this one too.
I could
Bam, we're already trap level 4. Now you gotta think, we get 60 per setting these, so we could do that now. But let's say you actually want these traps for late game because you feel like for whatever reason you might actually end up being behind. For this we can actually take our knife off and do it that way, but bam. Okay, yeah, so now we'll pretend we found a second knife. So we're gonna make another set of jungle guillotines, and then we're gonna make double guillotines out of this.
This might be worth its weight in gold.
And now I'm just gonna go ahead and place everything.
A new area has been restricted.
Investment, right?
Come on. Oh, I don't have the SP to place it. Placing traps does take SP, so keep that in mind.
It's a kind of investment, right? If you think you're caught, it's too late.
And notice how many traps we built just off of this. And double guillotines, they don't fuck around, dude. They do a lot of damage. Okay, so now we're level 8 trap. All of our traps do 30% more damage. And that's before they've been set off. And that took like almost no effort, honestly. That took us finding 1 snare, 2 bamboos, 2 hatchets, and then a mouse trap and 2 knives. All things that normally don't get looted like that unless other people are building traps. This is pretty much a level. Like, you'll get a level, maybe even 2, depending on increments and such, how long the game has went, off of just traps like this. In fact, if you do it early, bruh. Anyways, my point is mostly just saying that, like, There's a lot of different ways to catch a level advantage in a game, and having a level or two over your opponent can honestly make a
Air
fight.
supply will be dropped
Especially-
within the next minute.
I've had games where I've ended up 4 levels above my opponents, and it doesn't even feel close half the time at that point. So, make sure you're scaling your mastery everywhere, you know? Do whatever you can.
How much?
Double
is
kill teams like this are actually going to end up like helping you a lot. You gotta remember though that they run out, so you probably won't end up placing them until the end. But once you finally do place them, they are definitely a good way to
Survivor has been
get
eliminated.
that lead on your opponent, because double guillotines actually do provide a 1-second root when triggered. So there are some characters who really don't have the CC that they need, and that's going to be the main way you can get it. That's all sick. I agree. The mastery system is something that I don't think a lot of people are abusing correctly. Abusing is a pretty funny way to say it, but it is what it is.